Hello, everybody, and welcome. My name is Brian of Hessens County, and thank you for joining me again today. Today, we're going to be continuing our lineage. As you can see here on the screen, I've done some little upgrades from the last time that you all saw this page. But yeah, we're going to try to keep going on from where we left off before with the solo TTRPG lineage combined with the of Golden and Dark Ages expansion. So, last time we left off, just to give you everybody a summary, for those of you who didn't want to have to sit through the big giant long video complete with all the explanations of the rules last time, I wrote a little synopsis here. So, just to give one other thing I realized that I didn't do last time is I didn't create any sort of like backstory, anything behind any of this. So I sat down and I thought about some of it, and this is basically what I've come up with. The basic idea behind Lineage is that we create a genealogy of a ruling family, let's say. So what I've decided is that basically instead of being like a big giant kingdom or something like that, Car the Able is the first in a line of monarchs of a sort of like a city-state, a small like part of like a loose cultural confederation. You might think of something like, early Greek history, like with the Mycenaeans and the Minoans, where they had these, palatial structures where you'd have a center of power and they would kind of rule over the like little bit around them, and each of them would be independent, but like if something really big happened, sometimes they might bond together and kind of fight off an outsider, something like that. And they all had similar cultural networks, similar cultural trade networks, stuff like that between them. So the city, the name of the city, that the sort of city-state that Car is kind of ruling over, it would be Pamus, and I've decided to kind of create my own sort of ruling title called a Clad, just so then I don't have to keep saying monarch or king or queen or whatever. I could just say Clad. Anyway, so just to kind of review what kind of happened last time with Car, through the events and stuff, Car the Able, apparently through some sort of family connection, has also a claim over being the Clad of a neighboring city-state. And he's been slowly building up support and kind of pushing his claim over this neighboring city-state. Has gathered wide support amongst the population within his own, within Pamus. The last event that we had last time was that mines that were associated with Pamus, probably within its territory, has recently begun supplying a lot more resources than they had previously. They must have like struck some sort of new major vein or something of like silver or copper or something, some really necessary material, maybe tin. And so it's been supplying a lot of resources for a potential future campaign, but Car passed away before he could potentially push his claim on the other city-state. So instead, the rule has passed on to his firstborn child, Biimo, which is the one we're going to start with. And Biimo, I went ahead and I had already, at the very end of the game, I had rolled the cognomen, the sort of reign name, how he's remembered, for Biimo, and it said that Biimo is remembered as being the Wicked. So today we're going to start by kind of figuring out some other things about Biimo, like who Biimo is married to, and moving on from there. So, alright, so again, we have our dice. We have 2 d6s. They combine together, not added together, but combined together to get our results. So I'm going to go ahead and roll for our spell. Maybe. Oh, where'd you go? I'm just going to get a new one. I'll find that later. Alrighty. So I'm going to roll that for our spouse. And we have, let's see, a 4 and a 6. So that means I'm going to hop over here. Married, let's see, 4 and a 6 means foreign noble house known for their wit. So, well, first we need to give this person a name. How about, I've lost, but since the last time I recorded a video, I had a big giant list of names. I've lost it. I have no idea where it went. So we're just going to make them up as we go. Let's go with just... Lyra. There we go. That works. Married. Lyra. Okay. Oops. Okay, so we have that. Now, remember, for our next one, we're going to roll heirs. So we roll a 2d6 to determine how many kids, and then a 1d6 subtract from that to see how many heirs there would have been. Okay, so let's write that down here. Heirs. Alright, so first I rolled a 6 and a 2, so we have 8. And then... Okay, 3. So that means we have 5 heirs again. Okay, this is not going to be going away anytime soon, that's for sure. Alright, so let's see. If I recall correctly, I hit that, and then that, and then... Okay, so we're going to need to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and this is going to display very strangely, at least for now, just because of the nature of things. I'm going to move that up to up there. Slide this up some. Once I put a category on one of these, it's going to rearrange things to make it a bit more visible. Alright, so, I'm not going to give them names yet. But I am going to go ahead and make these gray. Not that gray. That gray. There we go. Okay. And then I'll switch whichever one ends up becoming the next cloud to blue. Okay. And then, so for next we have events. Alrighty. So, for our events, we roll 2d6, subtract 2. So I have 11 minus 2 would be 9 events. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Nope, that's not what I wanted. Select those. Shifty over. Okay, alrighty. So that means I'm going to need to draw 9 cards. Alrighty. Biimo clearly had a long reign, so let's see if Biimo actually ends up earning their nickname of the Wicked. Because again, the nickname is just based on how people remember them in the future, not necessarily how they actually were. So our first one was the Ace of Hearts. So, if I recall correctly. Okay. The event chart says the monarch reformed large portions of the law, giving the nation a more modern set of laws. Okay, so we are a legal reformer. Which makes sense for a relatively new dynasty, especially like the next person in line would probably needs to kind of make some changes to the way things have been working, especially if this city-state is potentially going to start expanding into a like multi-city nation. Our next event is a number 7. Sorry, a 7 of spades. Words. Alrighty, our 7 of spades says... A plot has been revealed to kill the monarch, and the culprits were caught and await their punishment. Oh boy. So, assassination plot discovered. I already see where this is going. Alrighty. I'm not going to decide quite yet on exactly what happened to the plotters, but that's good to know for now. Alright, so depending upon what happens in the next one, we'll see. Our next one is the Queen of Clubs. Alright, the Queen of Clubs says, the largest city in our realm has grown to grand proportions and does not show any signs of stopping. Do we invest more money to further grow it, or do we let natural development guide its growth? Okay. Oh, this is interesting. Okay. So, between these three things so far, we have a potential explanation for why we have the nickname of Biimo the Wicked that doesn't necessarily mean that this person was actually a bad ruler, but maybe was misunderstood in the future. Or maybe their plans further down the line don't end up going quite as expected. We'll have to see. Alright, our next one is the Jack of Spades. Oh, wrong way. The Jack of Spades says, a new kind of tree was found in a hard-to-access forest that is superior to many existing woods. How do we use it? Okay. So, new useful type of tree found in a forest. How is it used? Interesting. Oh, maybe that's useful for the expansions of the city. Maybe we're going to start using this new type of wood to help build bigger, stronger houses or something. That could work. Our next one is the Eight of Diamonds. The Eight of Diamonds says, we were able to take the title of one of our vassals and demote them to a lesser rank. Take the title of vassal and demote them. Maybe that vassal was really popular, but they did something wrong, but we didn't want to tell everybody about it. Maybe because they were involved in instituting legal reforms and then they ended up breaking the rules, or they were involved in that plot. This is interesting. Okay. Nine of Clubs. The Nine of Clubs says, one of our generals presented a law reform that they said would reduce banditry and crime, but it's also quite expensive. Do we introduce it or do we keep the current laws? Maybe we reformed the laws, but things weren't quite working out as we expected, so someone suggested we fix them. That might work. Four of Clubs is our next event. Through luck and political marriages, one of our monarch's male relatives has become the ruler of another nation. How do we react to this occasion? Okay. That could prove interesting. We'll have to see how that one goes. King of Spades. I remembered this one being interesting. So, the King of Spades says, thanks to smart politics, one of the major religious figures has become a puppet to the crown. Alright, and then finally our last event is the Five of Hearts. The Five of Hearts reads, a renaissance of art and culture has started in our realm. Does the monarch support or oppose it? Okay, so now that we've done all our events, I'm going to go ahead and decide how they died, and then we're going to go back and check some of these events and see how we think things should go. So, death. How did Biimo die? Alright, we have a 2 and a 3. Oh, wait. No, that's right. I was doing that. Okay, sorry. I got the colors the wrong way around. So it's a 3 and a 2. So they died through betrayal. Oh my. By a betrayal. Who betrayed him? Oh my goodness. This is suddenly getting really, oh goodness. Alright, well, I just realized we still haven't named these people, so we're going to go ahead and go in and we can recycle some names, like Ooh, and maybe we'll name one of them let's have this person be Hyla, and this one is Gosa. And then how about oops. Oh, come on. Cooperate. There we go. How about let's recycle Chowge. Alrighty, so okay, so we have our 5 heirs. Now, okay, now one of our events said that a family member ends up becoming a monarch of another city-state. So how about we say Moch here. Let's give it to Moch. Let's say Moch here becomes the monarch of another city-state. So we're going to give this person a special color. There we go. And so they are going to become the line for another city-state. Monarchs of Talisa. There we go. Alright, so this is another city-state. And then, which we might need to jump back to at some point, if the main line over here ends up dying out. Alright, so we see, we have... Okay, now let's go back to our events. So we institute legal reforms. That one seems pretty standard. An assassination plot was discovered. Alright, I'm going to say that the assassination attempt was from that other city-state. Not Talisa, but the other one we have a claim on. Seems to assassinate Biimo. And then, because we just instituted legal reform, I'm going to say that what happened is that the plotters of the assassination mostly escaped, not by, like, running away, but because the legal system was set up in such a way that it accidentally let them go. Or at the very least, there wasn't enough evidence to, like, hold them or something like that. So the plotters end up being released due to legal, or at least the domestic plotters, the people locally who were involved. Local plotters end up being released due to legal loophole. Okay, so the city is growing. Do we, like... I'm gonna say we just kind of let things take their course. No. I'm gonna say we get involved. Which costs money, which explains why we're still not actually really pressing our claim against that other city-state. Costs money. Useful to, how is it used? Okay, so this new tree was used for construction of new buildings in the city. Whoops. Sweet. Okay. So we take the title of a vassal and demote them. So this is going to be one of the major assassination plotters. But this makes us unpopular. Alright, so if we go back up here, let's see, Moch, right? Moch became the monarch of Talisa. Okay, Moch became... Okay. Alright, I skipped this one. General suggests that a legal reform, but it is expensive. I'm going to say that we don't have the funds to, that because of the expansions to the city and these legal reforms that we're doing, that we just can't afford it. Here's an idea. Maybe Moch is the religious leader. Maybe this ruler of this other city-state is a... Maybe the leader of this other city-state is like a recognized religious figure. Like, I mean, this is kind of a bad example. This is not a really great example. Like, maybe like, you know, how the Pope had the Papal States. Or like the role that like a leader of, let's say, the city of Elise, the influence that kind of a person would have over the Olympic Games, because they're the major city-state that's right next door. Right next door to Olympus. Or, I'm pretty sure the name of the city was Elise. Or, anyway, like a major political leader, let's say, in the city-state of Delphi, right? They have, so maybe they're a puppet for the moment because Mooch really likes us and kind of supports us and stuff like that, but maybe in the future that will change. So, last one is, there's an artistic renaissance. Do we support it or do we oppose it? I think Biimo is probably going to oppose a sort of artistic renaissance. And I'm going to say Biimo probably opposed it because they have a sort of... With all the legal reforms and maneuvering and changes that they're making, I kind of get the impression that they want to change things in the city-state, want to make things new and different, but they also don't want... They have a set vision in mind. And this sort of a thing is just going beyond the pale of what they're willing to kind of change and modify. Like, maybe there's something about it that just isn't okay for the monarchy, isn't okay for this person. So I'm going to say that they probably didn't, like, openly oppose it, but they didn't support it. Like, it's one of those things where the common people are doing that, but the court and the, you know, court traditions and things like that are going to stick with what they had before. Alright, now our last thing that we really need to talk about is the death by betrayal. And I think what we're going to do is we're going to have one of the... Okay. So let's see, we have 5 kids. Traditionally, we would probably pass on to the first one. At least that's what we had been doing before. But I'm thinking something happened. And one of the other kids wanted to be the next monarch and probably had support from somebody. Oh, I just realized I spelled Mooch's name wrong over here. Mooch, right? It was Mooch, not Mooch or whatever. Mooch. Alright, let's see, I rolled 4. 1, 2. So again, Gosa. We're going to say Gosa here. Gosa betrayed the family and has kind of taken the claim. Oh, what color is that? There we go. Yeah, Gosa has kind of taken the claim on for themselves. Something. There we go. Alright. Which I'm going to say that as part of that betrayal, I'm going to say that all over here is dead. Or is exiled or something. Yeah, we'll say all over here got exiled. So we'll make him maybe this green color. The exile. There we go. And then, so So we maybe potentially in the future, if we need to jump back to a family tree, we might be able to grab that person, but maybe not. We'll have to see. Alright. And I guess what we'll do, so for the succession, I'm going to, just like I did last time, I'm going to go ahead and roll a cognomen for this person. Which their cognomen is the Old. So Gusa is the Old. Okay. Gusa the Old. Which this could mean that they're honestly legitimately old. Like they end up ruling for a really long time. Or because Biimo ruled for such a long time, maybe because Biimo ruled for such a long time and had so many events happen, maybe the Gusa just got really old because it just took a long time. Gusa was getting old and was getting nervous that they would all the kids would end up dying before their dad or their mom or dad did, and so that's why they offed Biimo. Maybe, I don't know. Anyway, thank you all for joining me today. I think I'm going to go ahead and end it there just because Biimo's reign was so long. And then maybe next time you can join me to see what happens for Gusa the Old and to see how this goes. Thank you very much for joining me, and have a good day. If you would like to show your support for this channel or for the Hessens County blog, in the description down below, you will find links to the channel Coffee and also the Itch Store. Please feel free to take a look, and thank you for your support.